Everybody, welcome to California Bountiful. I'm your host, Tracy Sellers. And as you can see behind me, we are hanging out in one of my favorite cities, San Diego. This is one of the most beautiful cities in the entire country. So we're going to show you some of the sights and sounds all throughout the show. So let's not waste any more time and get to our first story.
The business itself started back in 1982. It was a very small business back then. It was probably 200 people. Maybe we had 6 rooms. We grew a couple of 100 pounds a week. And here we are 30 some odd years later with about 100 people and over 100,000 pounds a week. The partnership with Del Mar has just been a breath of fresh air. Years ago, they were spending an exorbitant amount of money to go to the landfills, dumping their material. We were buying material, the same material, and it just dawned on the two of us that, hey, why should we do this?
Large truck there is 125 cubic yards, and we run 8 of those a day. And I think the meat is, 7? It's like 10 weeks of that.
They appreciate us and we appreciate them, and they end up using our material. Our spent compost goes back into their facility, in their gardens and their lawns and all that. We really appreciate it.
So Roberto, I have to ask the million-dollar question out there. People are probably wondering, the straw comes from Del Mar. How is it? I mean, people would think, oh, it's dirty, it's icky, but it actually is not. It's actually pretty clean looking at it too. I mean, it looks...
Right, as you can see, you don't see a lot of traces of horse manure in the straw. You see some traces of urine, but the reason you don't see a lot of traces of horse manure is because you're talking about million-dollar horses, and their owners don't want their horses to be stepping on a lot of horse manure.
That makes sense. So Roberto, where are we now?
This is what we call the wharf. This is where we make our compost. This is where everything happens. For us, 90% of the success or failure of the growing process comes from here.
Okay, so we've moved on from the composting, and where are we now, Roberto?
Now we're inside the room.
Okay.
Our compost is already in, so we're gonna pasteurize the compost.
Further cleaning it,
That's
making
correct.
it...
We're gonna kill all the bad bacteria that's in there.
How hot is it in here?
It's 113 degrees right now, but the humidity is over 90%.
Wow! So we've moved on to another room, a much cooler room. I have to say I enjoy this much more than the other room. Now tell me about this, Roberto. What are we looking at here?
Well, this is the end of the pasteurization process.
Okay.
We already pasteurized the compost. We're cooling it down. We're at the casing stage. This is where we add the casing layer on top of our compost that we saw in the previous stage.
Can we just stay in this room? This room is so nice. The temperature, we've gone from hot to mild to cool. So we're in yet 68 degrees. Perfect for me and perfect for the compost, right? So tell me, where are we now?
Right now, this is a spun run. This is the 3rd stage of our growing process. And what we're doing here is we're growing the mycelium, which, if you think of it, it's the entire tree and the roots. And the fruiting of that is going to be the mushroom.
So Roberto, we finally reached the final stage of mushroom growing. Tell us about this room.
This is our harvesting stage. This is 40 days after we fill the room. We start harvesting our mushrooms.
Beautiful button mushrooms. Now, how soon till these are in the grocery store?
This will be in your store today or tomorrow at the latest.
Wow, that's pretty darn fresh, huh?
It is.
And it takes a lot of work, though, to grow these. We've seen how hard it takes to, how much work it takes.
It's a lot of work and a lot of time.
Yeah. You like mushrooms?
I don't like the white mushrooms, but I eat the creminis and portobellos.
Consumer likes more fresh, healthy food. The people that used to go to restaurants and people that ate at Burger King and McDonald's and all these fast food restaurants, they tend to want something different today. They want something that's healthier. They want healthier menus. I mean, if you go to any of those fast food restaurants, you see all these healthy menus now. They've all got salads, they've got portobello mushroom burgers, they've got Swiss mushroom burgers. I mean, they got everything. So the mushrooms have really gained a lot in popularity.
I like mushrooms.